Now, keep in mind, I'm so dumb, I still don't even know what I did. The Night Stalker is like 12 feet away from me. I would rather not. I'm not putting it up my butt. I'm not putting it up my butt. All right, so you guys know what's coming, right? Well, I did not. I absolutely did not know what was coming. Hi everybody, it's me, Kathy Griffin, and welcome to Kathy Griffin Talk Your Head Off. Would you like to hear about the time that I disrupted a murder trial? All right, I'll tell you. And we also have an unboxing from Hustler magazine for you. Quite an episode. It was 1985, and I was 25, and I am a big, like most women, I'm into murder mysteries, and I love a docuseries about murders, and it's always the husband. There was a serial killer making the rounds, killing people in Los Angeles called the Night Stalker. So you've probably heard of him. If you're my generation, you definitely have. It's all we talked about, especially in Los Angeles. He killed 13 people. And it was a wild story. The whole city was terrified because the cops could not figure out where this guy was, who he was, and he killed predominantly women, and they would get any kind of a clue they could. And so being a serial killer, I remember there was a while that as a single woman, and even my mom was afraid to even go out at night. You were afraid to be walking down the street and have this guy stop you and kill you. There was a while that we thought the common thread was that he was attacking one-story homes, in particular that were yellow or light yellow. Because I think two of his victims were in homes like that or something. So then people were painting their homes different colors. I can't even tell you what a big deal this case was. Eventually, the detectives put together a sketch, and somehow he was identified. And they said, okay, there's a manhunt for this guy. His name was Richard Ramirez. And so the Night Stalker was identified, but we got to find him, right? And arrest him. So this is also a crazy story. Too crazy for Elliot, that's for sure. He's like, I'm out. I don't do serial killers. Richard Ramirez, then we didn't know where he was, but in real life, he was carjacking a female, and he was somewhere, I think, around the downtown LA area. A bunch of dudes from the neighborhood saw him trying to carjack a woman and then realized, oh, it's the guy from the Wanted poster. So they physically got him and just gave him a beatdown. And so the detectives were so grateful that this guy was caught that I remember the just regular guys from the neighborhood getting accommodations. Is that the right word? Is it a commendation or an accommodation? John?
Commendation.
Sorry, my brother is here. He's going to help out today. And so these guys got commendations from the LAPD and LA Sheriff's Department and stuff, and they were heroes. And we were all so grateful that the Night Stalker had been caught and stuff. The trial wasn't for 3 years. So this trial was so high stakes because everybody wanted to see him put away if he was guilty, right? Innocent until proven guilty. The jury selection alone was 6 months. So 6 months of just jury selection. Okay, so the trial starts in LA Superior Court, and I don't know what case I had been following, but I was a young actress. If I was 25, I don't think I'd even been on TV yet. Maybe I had done one commercial or something. I was in a theater group called The Groundlings, trying to get known, all this other stuff. I had never attended any kind of a trial before. I've now been sued many times and been on the witness stand. I have plenty of at least litigation experience, but certainly not, the kind of experience I wanted as a young actress, because I certainly never thought I'd be a stand-up comedian. I thought I was going to be an actress and I would be a sidekick on a situation comedy, which luckily did happen for me. But I never even had aspirational comedy dreams or stand-up comedy dreams when I was 25. So I had a boyfriend at the time, very nice guy named Andrew, and he was kind of a crew guy. So he knew his way around sets, but he was kind of coming up as well. And so I said, hey, what if we went to the Night Stalker trial and watched? it's a public trial. Anybody can go as long as you wait in line. And I believe it was being covered by Dominic Dunn, who's no longer with us, who wrote for Vanity Fair. If not, the LA Times was covering every day of this trial. And when it finally got underway, this guy, Richard Ramirez, was scary. Like, he was really tall and slender. And he famously, when he got caught, there used to be a big campaign that Disney used to have where athletes at a pinnacle moment of their career, like let's say it's when Michael Jordan broke some record, and they would catch him at that moment and say, Michael Jordan, you've just broken this amazing record. Where are you going? And he would say, I'm going to Disneyland. Okay, so Disney World was the big one. My brother, thank God, is fact checking me. So they'd have the Super Bowl, and maybe they'd name the MVP quarterback or whatever. And they'd go up to like Brett Favre, maybe, somebody like that. Say, Brett Favre, you've just won the Super Bowl for the
fourth time.
Team.
Oh, the Green Bay Packers.
The Green Bay Packers. What are you going to do now? I'm going to Disney World. The neighborhood guys catch Richard Ramirez, and then they do like a perp walk, and all the cameras are there, and they say, Richard Ramirez, did you do it? And he goes,
I'll see you in Disneyland.
That was so weird and creepy. I have chills now just being a female. And this guy, he really bludgeoned these people, and he R-worded them, and they all died horrible, horrible deaths. And this son of a bitch says, I'm going to Disney World. The trial is in the probably about the middle of the trial, an 18-month trial. 18 months. I, once again, decided it's a genius idea that I go sit in the audience. They actually call it an audience in a trial. And bring my innocent boyfriend who never wanted any kind of spotlight on him in any way. And we go and we line up and we get seats, right? So I decide that I'm going to stare down Richard Ramirez on behalf of all women everywhere. This son of a bitch, not on my watch. Yeah, that's right. I'm Kathy Griffin, and I've maybe done one commercial. So don't you dare think you're going to get away with it in my court. Like, I thought I was kind of the judge, jury, and executioner, but I was just a wannabe actress. So he comes in shackles, like literally like from a movie. And I stared at him. I stared him down. And you guys, my hand to God, he looked back. First of all, I was the only person that just didn't take my eyes off him the whole time he's walking. Like a crazy person. Like, I was the crazy person. He was like the normal one compared to me. All right, so the trial is going on, and it's very interesting, but it wasn't what I expected. It wasn't like something you'd see in a movie where they have the gotcha moment. The entire day of testimony was about a pair of sneakers. And now I understand it. They were trying to tie evidence they found on Richard Ramirez's sneakers to, I believe, a survivor who had worn sneakers was then on the stand, and they were matching the blood. But it was a full day of questioning. What brand were the sneakers? What color were they? Was there discoloration because of the blood? Are you sure you could identify him? It was, I don't want to say it was boring, but I wasn't prepared for the level of detail, right? I thought either he was going to admit it or deny it that day, So then it's lunch break. So I did not realize then that in real live court, they break for lunch, and the lawyers for both the plaintiff and the defendant, they just kind of walk out together, and they almost always know each other. And when you're doing an 18-month trial, believe it or not, they tend to be very cordial to one another, which is also jarring. And I remember thinking, why are the defense attorneys even talking to the prosecuting attorneys? This is a miscarriage of justice. This would never happen on The Fugitive. Then I go to the bathroom, and I also didn't realize the jurors have a lunch break and the same time as anybody who's going to the trial. So I go into the public bathroom, the ladies' room, of course, and, I'm washing my hands, and the woman next to me is washing her hands. And, it's crowded. It's lunchtime. The stalls are full. The sinks are full. And I turn to the woman to my left, and I simply say the words, that last witness, do you know? And she just looks at me like this and walks away. All right, so you guys know what's coming, right? Well, I did not. I absolutely did not know what was coming. So lunch finishes, and my then boyfriend Andrew and I walk back and take our same seats, and now we're ready for the afternoon of testimony, and I listened to the Jim Shoe story all day long. Okay, fine. So then the judge, and his name was Judge Michael Tynan. I don't know if he's still with us. Judge Michael Tynan, I've never forgotten you. This is this big trial. And then he starts by saying, we understand there's been some potential jury tampering. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna be honest. This was me. Oh, boy, what idiot did that? That could set this whole thing ablaze. So then the judge looks at me and says, young lady, stand up. It's me, you guys. And I thought I was gonna piss my pants. I'm not even kidding. So he says, what's your name and address? And I'm thinking, the Night Stalker is like 12 feet away from me. I would rather not. And so I go, do I have to say? And he goes, yes, you have to say. So I go, Kathy Griffin, 2639 Sentinel Avenue, Santa Monica, California. And he goes, and what is your purpose here? And you guys, this is what I said. I'm an actress and I'm doing research. He goes, you're what? And I go, well, and then I start going, I mean, I'm not technically an actress yet. I haven't had any paid work, but I am studying to be an actress. I go to the Lee Strasberg Theater Academy, and someday I hope to be in films and television. And he's like, okay. What is your relationship with Mr. Ramirez? And then I just paused, and I'm thinking, wait, did he just ask that? Then he says, approach the bench. My hand to God. Okay, guess who you have to pass when you're going to approach the bench? Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker. So I go up to the old-timey wooden gate, and he goes, closer. So I open the little gate, and then he goes, stop. And he stops me right next to Richard Ramirez. So I'm standing, all 5'3" of me, and Ramirez is this close to me, and he's just looking at me like this. Because he's thinking, I'm his ticket out, right? I'm a mistrial waiting to happen. I've given my name and address, and he says, what's your relationship with Mr. Ramirez? And I said, I don't have one. And he says, have you written letters to Mr. Ramirez? I said, no. Have you had any communication with Mr. Ramirez? No. And then he says, are you in love with Mr. Ramirez? Mm-hmm. I said, no, I don't know him. Okay, what I didn't know is there was a group of like batshit crazy women that were writing him love letters thinking he was hot or misunderstood or some crazy shit. And this poor judge is thinking, oh no, one of them got into the courtroom and then purposely followed a juror into the ladies' room and tried to tamper with the juror. Now, keep in mind, I'm so dumb, I still don't even know what I did. Like, I vaguely remember him saying jury tampering, but I remember thinking that was somebody else. And so he goes, did you speak to a juror in the ladies' room? And then I'm like, oh no, I did talk to the lady next to me. That was my answer. So then I like sneak a look at the jury box and I'm like, actually, it may have been her. Hello, ma'am. We didn't discuss the outcome of the case. And then I stopped talking. He goes, do you think Mr. Ramirez is innocent or guilty? And I go, I do not know, as we did not discuss it. And so he's asking me all these, then he asked me more about what kind of actress I was, or like, I think he didn't buy that I was even a wannabe actress. So I was just explaining to him, like, I was in classes, and part of wanting to be an actress is you try to immerse yourself in as many situations as you can so you can bring that to the role. Or like, it was, you guys, it was bonkers. It seemed to go on forever. The reporters were all taking notes. I'm like, oh God, I'm embarrassed the family again. And so then finally, Ramirez is staring at me the whole time. And then he goes, all right, take a seat. So then he turns to my boyfriend and he goes, what is your relationship with her? And my poor boyfriend goes, I'm the boyfriend. And thank God he didn't ask him any more questions. But I was just like, aren't I a catch? Okay, so it turns out that they very seriously, because of me, considered knocking that poor woman off the jury and going to an alternate. But they already had burned through a couple alternates because of, it was such a big case and it went on so long. I think there may have been actual attempts at jury tampering, not just me being a dumbass. Then I took my seat again, but I was so scared that instead of just leaving, I had this idea in my head that I would look more innocent if I stayed until they broke at like 5 o'clock. So the whole afternoon, I'm shaking in my boots and they're giving, the testimony's going back and forth. And Ramirez looks at me one more time and he just stares right at me. And of course, I stared back at him instead of just looking away like a normal person. Then at the end of the day, I remember sitting in the courtroom waiting for every single person to leave because I was so terrified to be in an elevator with even one juror or jurist, whichever is the word. And so we waited for a long time and my boyfriend was like, can we finally go? And then we went. And I swear I was so paranoid because we had to park way, it was before I was fancy. Now I'd have a driver, but I remember walking down the street in downtown LA thinking, oh God, I hope our juror isn't crossing the street at the same time I am. And I was trying to memorize their faces so I could run the other direction if I saw one. I am in the transcripts of the Night Stalker trial. And I really wish I knew how to research them, but I encourage any of you, please, if you can find the Kathy Griffin embarrassment of the Night Stalker trial. I don't even know how you would find it, but you kids on the internet, you can do anything. And that is how I actually appeared in the Night Stalker trial. He was a scary dude. I'm telling you, I stared him down like an idiot, but he stared me down like a real serial killer because that's what he was, the Night Stalker. This just in. So Judge Michael Tynan is still alive. So I would like to take this opportunity. I know it's been a very long time, Your Honor. I would like to formally apologize to Judge Michael Tynan. Sir, I'm very sorry. I did become an actress. Perhaps you saw me on Suddenly Susan. I'll wait. But I apologize. Okay, guys, I hope you're ready for this because this is an unboxing unlike anyone you've seen, I hope. Okay, so recently I'm very proud of this. I did a book event with the widow of the late Larry Flynt, who was the founder of Hustler magazine, which is a filthy porn magazine. And they also have casinos and they have 200 stores. So I got to know his widow, Liz, and she now is the head of the company. And Hustler Enterprises is still very much alive. They still print the physical magazine. They have a monthly column in it called Beaver Hunt. And what it is it's young ladies that may or may not be on some meth in the trailer park, but it's young ladies who I thought when I heard there was a column called Beaver Hunt, I assumed it was like an isolated picture of a No. It's always a pose where the girl is spreading her lips and more often than not doing this face. Just so you know, I've been around the block, so I have a bucket list. And one of the items on my bucket list I'm determined to realize is I want to win Beaver Hunt. Now, I know it's kind of a departure from my usual, talking about celebrities, but I think I have a shot. I'd like to be a reigning champion. I'd like to win Beaver Hunt, then submit my again, and then have me what? The first time in Hustler history, we've got a 2-time Beaver Hunt champ, and then maybe I go, I'm going to Disney World. Anyway, so she wrote a book that is about the 50th anniversary of Hustler magazine. And here's the kicker. It's a coffee table book. By the way, if you haven't gotten this book, it's amazing. And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is a national treasure and a political genius. He would not want to be in this company. John, please take that. Larry's widow wrote one book called Freedom, My Legacy about Larry, and it's got some famous Larry quotes. Here I am, a wealthy, crippled pornographer who's willing to spend his last dime to tell people what's really happening. For the elites who run this country, I am their worst nightmare. I mean, I kind of had to love him. I knew Larry. Did you know that, John?
I know.
Yeah, I knew him a little bit. So you can say what you want about Larry Flynt, and you can call him a smut porn guy, and he didn't care about any of that. But what you should know is that he and I shared an attorney. And so his name is Alan Isaacman. By the way, his son David is on the show Love on the Spectrum. So his son is now a bigger celebrity than he is. And if you ever saw the movie, The People versus Larry Flynt, if you haven't seen it, it's a really good movie, trust me. It's with Woody Harrelson as Larry Flynt, Courtney Love as his girlfriend, and one of his wives, Althea. And Edward Norton, the great actor, plays the role of our mutual attorney, Alan Isaacman. So when I started getting my various legal problems with people getting mad at me for my act, long before the Trump head picture, by the way, I cold called Alan Isaacman and I said, are you the guy that was portrayed in the movie? And he said, yes. And he was my First Amendment attorney for many years. He's just now retired recently. And I just love him dearly. He's a brilliant attorney. And I thought, if you can represent Larry Flynt, you can handle Kathy Griffin. And he did. Liz Flynt is the widow of Larry, and this is the coffee table book. I thought that Liz wrote a memoir. So I think it's kind of funny that there's a coffee table book celebrating 50 years of Hustler, but it is real and it's been around. So we did a book event where I moderated at Book Soup, which is an iconic independent bookstore here in Los Angeles. So Liz was nice enough to give me a Hustler gift bag, which I did not see coming, but I have to show you. It has to be seen to be believed. So first of all, here's the book. Go out and get it. John, thank you. And then I didn't know what was going to be inside. So let me start with the innocent stuff. Okay, what could possibly be in here? I really didn't know what would happen every time I opened a box. So get ready for my favorite sneakers. Seriously, I went to Vegas recently and I wore these. And they say Hustler on the side. They have zippers, which people my age love. So hold on, I'm gonna put them on. Because I can't be bending over and tying my shoelaces anymore. I'm too busy being a legend. Okay, so what could possibly be in a Hustler gift bag, you ask? Well, luckily, I've got your back. Everything's a pun. Like everything becomes a double entendre. Okay, so first of all, I love this. This is super cute, kind of like a roller skate jacket. It's satin, it's got the Hustler. And let me tell you, when you wear this, ladies, bros will hit on you. Guys have just stopped me on the street and asked me out since I got this jacket. So I know I shouldn't be promoting pornography because I'm not a porn person. And also, porn has gotten so dark on the internet. It's very R-word. And so I don't mean to promote porn. I'm a feminist, but I do like this jacket. I can be both. I can be a feminist and I can appreciate some nice sneakers and a cute skate jacket. Okay, so next we have Minx Sloppy Toppy. Now, okay, I think the idea of this is if you're going down on a girl, you put it in your mouth and I don't know, maybe it's for guys that think we smell like fish or whatever. There's always that one guy who doesn't want to go down on you because he's like, oh, fish. First of all, you don't smell like fish. That's just a guy who's not going to do his job. Or it's probably good for blowjobs. So maybe it's for the lady, if she's giving head, to maybe have a little nice taste in her mouth while she's doing it. Not that there's anything wrong with it's fantastic. I'm just saying sometimes you want a little sloppy toppy. Okay, this one is a big tube of lube. And I'm normally Astroglide or what's the other one? Astroglide, KY. So I still want a branding deal. So this is not a diss against Astroglide or KY, but Hustler Lube, there's a little something special about it. Okay, here we go. Fully nude playing cards. How about that? Larry used to have weekly poker games at his house where the buy-in, if you're a poker player, you know what that term means, the buy-in was $1 million cash. Imagine that. Imagine having a weekly poker game at your house where you had to walk in with a suitcase and prove to the dealer you had $1 million. So Larry used to hire 8 Mossad agents and they would circle the house while the game was going on because they were afraid somebody would drop a helicopter with a rope and guys would rope down and steal the cash. That is a story I heard from a Washington Post reporter. So it didn't come from me. This is the issue that I'm actually in. And so Liz brought me this and she's like, do you remember when you did the interview? I said, it was like a Vanity Fair spread. How about that? Look at that gorgeous picture. Hold on, it goes on. I told you, I'm working my way up to Beaver Hunt. So it was a very nice interview that they did. This is a nice young lady who's just looking to maybe be in the audience of a murder trial and then do some more acting. I'm just guessing. I did a movie called Kathy Griffin, A Hell of a Story. You can watch it for free on Amazon, and it's about my Trump picture, and there's some documentary footage. Anyway, it got good reviews, and it got a great review in Hustler magazine. So I've arrived. Here you go. There's a discreet manila envelope. You get to keep it, John. That's for you. No questions asked, no judgment. All right, this, you guys are gonna laugh. So when Liz Flint gave me this, no joke, I thought it was a microphone. I remember thinking, oh my God, that is so sweet. Like, she knows I'm a comic, and she just wanted to give me something hustler, but like something I could use as a prop, or I don't know, maybe it's a real microphone. I for real thought it was a microphone. I'm still not positive how this one works. Mandy, am I supposed to stick this up my vagina? So I use the head as it's a pleaser. Okay, so this is just for grasping. All right, so I bet you hold this part, and then this part, which doesn't simulate a penis really, because it's too big. Like, it's bigger than you can even imagine, I think. Okay, exterior, no entry. No entry. That's okay. And I'm not putting it up my butt. I'm not putting it up my butt. Don't write me. Don't say in the comments, I sat on one. You know, good for you. Life's too short. I'm just trying to win beaver hunt. The last thing is something that I have. Oh, the dogs are so disappointed at me. This one is called I Am Original, and it's a womanizer. And on the back it says I.M. original. I'm gonna be honest, I still don't know how this one works because it looks like a gas mask to me. So I assume it's just for women because it's a womanizer. So I guess you like place it like a gas mask as if your is on its last breath and you just want to save its life. And I think there's a battery involved. Oh, it's vegan friendly. Oh, thank God. That was my main concern. Pleasure air orgasms are unlike anything else. Okay, that's new to me. I've never had an air orgasm, but you know, the day is young. Body fit. Oh, it's waterproof because I was gonna go surfing while I put a gas mask on my and then have an air orgasm. So luckily I can do that. So I have not tried this one yet. I'm not above it. I'm not kink shaming at all. I'm just a little afraid of it. Nick is my resident youth, so he's the okay.
This is very much my area of expertise.
I mean, what do you think? How do you think it works? And I know you've had how many women have you slept with?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been a minute.
Okay.
It's been a minute. I mean, that's pretty descriptive. That illustration is pretty descriptive.
Okay, so the illustration is you place it with the pointy part up on your over your and then what happens?
I think you let it do the work.
Air blows out of it?
Yeah, it's USB. You charge it. It does have a battery.
Okay. So what if some guy comes over and I'm charging my womanizer? I mean, I'm a woman and a gay man try to explain a sex toy to you that pleases a woman that you have to charge, which I will. I'm not dissing the product.
No, of course.
And there's a picture of Marilyn Monroe on the cover
feel about this?
that we didn't even really discuss. But Marilyn Monroe probably would have loved it, is all I can say about that. All right, you guys, that's our show for this week. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe, please. It's all about the views. Tell your friends. Please be a paid subscriber to my Substack and my Patreon, and follow me on all the other socials. I love you guys, and thank you for helping me build this little show together. I love your comments. I'll see you next time on Kathy Griffin, Talk Your Head Off.